Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to take apart your Xbox and install a heatsink fan, which should probably help you guys out with the red rings of death. We're going to go ahead and start by taking off our hard drive and get any other stuff you have plugged back up here out. I have the wireless end around. And the easiest way to do this, simple, put your fingers here, put your thumb there, pull that right out. Then you're going to want to get your tool. I prefer a flathead and an exchanger. And again, there's plenty of videos on the internet that'll teach you how to do this. I just decided to put it in here. So, you have it all in one video. There's the top. And the bottom. Sometimes you'll have to remove this last little piece on the back to get this one off. It's a pain sometimes. Go ahead and flip it on the front. Now you're going to need the smallest flathead you can find so that you can get in these little cracks, because they're a pain in the butt. So my thinnest one's right here. And I always prefer to start from the side with the HDMI port on it. So just go ahead and pop them in. That's that side. You can really start from either the front or the back, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes it's easier on either side, really. Go ahead and flip it over, use your flathead, pop up the first one, and the second one, third one, and release the clip. So at this point, we'll have our bottom part off. Set that on the side. Go ahead and look at it from the top, and you're going to want to take your flathead and pop off the eject button. And that's what we have so far. As you can see, the bottom has plenty of screws. You can decide to use a Torx screw if you want. As long as you have one that fits, I prefer to use this flathead because it just fits perfectly in the ones I need to get the case off. So, it's the 8 silver screws, relatively long all the way around, or 6 I believe, 6 screws. 4 hold the DVD reader or DVD ROM drive in place to the top case. The other 2 is hold the metal to the case. Nothing fancy. So we're about, what, 4 minutes in? Now what you can do is you can flip it over, pull this whole part off, set it to the side, take your shroud off, set it to the side, and that's the inside of your Xbox. Easy as pie. Now you can see here I've already installed the heatsink fan. It's right over the, I believe it's the GPU or CPU heatsink that has the heat dispersion bar right here. So the next step we're going to do is take out the DVD ROM drive. Pretty simple. Pop it out. You have your eSATA and SATA data controller over here. Pop those 2 out. Set that to the side as well. Next you're going to take off this fan shroud. Pop it in, pull it out, pops right up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the fan controller. switch over here. I'm going to lift these two up and pull this straight out. Out pop your fans. Now we need to get to the bottom of the board, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove the rest of these screws on the bottom. As you can see, they're also all the way around. The gold screws help hold the motherboard in place. The black screws in the middle hold the X-clamp to the CPU and GPU. Quite a bit of screws in here. Now there is one silver screw on the outside. It isn't a long one, but I don't know what the relevance of it being silver is, so I always associate it with this little black part here is where this one goes. Just so you don't forget. You guys might be different, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, this is a Black Edition Elite. So, I don't know, I picked it up for 200 bucks at Target. It was a great deal. Alright, so now we got these ones out. I'm going to go ahead and switch. That's the wrong one. To my torque screw, because this one's a little smaller than my flathead likes, so I always take them off in a very random order, as not to screw up with the pressure on the chip itself. Doesn't really matter if you don't care about that kind of stuff, but I'm a little anal about it. Alright, screws are out, so go ahead and flip it over, be gentle, you don't want it to mess up. I'm going to pop off this front face plate right here, pulling up and out. Now you guys should have 3 screws here. I only have 1, because I had a little disaster and accidentally threw a few of them out. So, you can go ahead and unscrew that part. You should have 3 like I said, pretty sure you do. Unless you've taken it apart before and like me have lost screws. That would suck. So now I'm just going to pull this piece straight out. Put that off to the side. And now your motherboard should pop out pretty easily from the front. I just pull it up and out. Okay, you got a close-up of this heatsink fan right here. It is a 12-volt DC fan. I pulled it out of an old computer. Just basically had 2 wires, red and black, as you can see right there. I soldered some longer leads onto it just so I could reach the back of the points that I put it in. As you can see, they're right here. So I have it coming up and around the motherboard right here. Put some tape there, put some tape here. Here's where I soldered the original leads to. And the way I have it done to this, I actually use the power inputs from the PCU where it's actually on the board. And I soldered one right here. This is your ground. You can find many little manuals online or pinouts of this. And this is my 12-volt supply right here. So I ran these through, soldered them on. Be careful because you don't want to leave the soldering on there too long as it'll start melting the board. And make sure you have solid connections because a few times I've done it and it just didn't stick. And then just as a precautionary, I threw some more electrical tape over the top. And also another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that when you're done soldering that it isn't too tall, because if it's too tall and it touches the part that the motherboard is held in place by, you can have some problems there. So if you need to, get a small desoldering and go ahead and take some of it out. Try to make it as flat as possible. and just put some electrical tape over that. So there you have it. That's how you do it. The way I held mine in place is like the older ones. They basically just get some screws that fit right into the small fins of it. I only put 2 in there for now, just because it's a little big for it. At one point I did have another one here, but it wasn't really helping the circulation at all, so I just kept this one in place. You can cover this up with electrical tape, try to prevent it from, you know, pulling air out of certain places, but that's my mod on here. So I hope you enjoy the video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and have a good night.